Hey everybody! As you can see, we just found out about the ruling in the Trayvon Martin George Zimmerman case. Um, what's there really to say? I mean,
I don't know. It's just there's no justice for Black people in this country, and I know there's probably going to be haters and all this other stuff, but it's true. There's no justice. In the same state, I know that Marissa. She shot a warning shot, and she has 20 years in prison for just shooting a warning shot. She didn't even shoot anybody. She didn't injure anyone. She shot a warning shot, and she's in 20 years in prison. It's really upsetting to think that George Zimmerman is going to walk and probably have a lot of money after this case, and he killed a 17-year-old kid. It's heartbreaking. It really is. There's no justice.
You know, I earlier today, I saw a video from the Young Turks where they showed what MSNBC had showed yesterday, the photo of Trayvon after he had been killed. And I thought that was the thing that was going to be like make the jury go, okay, yeah, guilty. Because if you haven't seen it, the idea that he looked like a thug, a suspicious thug. I mean, he was wearing tight khaki pants that are cuffed at the bottom. They weren't like below his ass or anything, and his hoodie was like wasn't loose fitting at all. It was like tight, like kind of like mine. It looked like he's just a guy walking around with a hoodie. I see kids like that all the time at shows and everything, and none of them get stopped for anything. And it's just it was raining and he needed a hood.
Let's just face it, and we all know the only reason George Zimmerman got out of his car that day was because Trayvon Martin was Black.
Pretty much.
He didn't feel like he belonged. So now there's a 17-year-old kid in the ground somewhere, and a murderer is walking the streets. That's just it in a nutshell. There's no justice.
And I look at all the evidence, and people saying, "Oh, well, you're not part of the jury, so you don't know." Oh, I've seen the transcripts. We read all the stuff. We saw it all. We were seeing the same things that the juries were seeing. So that argument doesn't really matter. It doesn't count because we all saw it. We were all following this really closely. And for them to say that it was self-defense, I mean, when you really look at where he was when he got shot, and the claims that first he claimed that he shot him while Trayvon was on top of him, but there was no blood to support that on him, so he changed his argument to somehow he shot him and then ended up on top of him. Like Zimmerman ended up on top of Trayvon.
Although there was no DNA at all on George Zimmerman's clothes. There was no blood. There was nothing on him from Trayvon Martin. There was no DNA.
Yeah. So if he was being beaten up by Trayvon, there would be something. A. And if he had shot him while he was on top of him, B, there would be something on him. That's pretty much my point. There was nothing on him, and I don't understand how they can honestly say it was self-defense in any sort of way. And I just think it boils down to Sanford, Florida is a racist city. I mean, it took 40 days for him to get arrested, and the only reason he was arrested was because it became a huge news story. And a lot of people have talked about, the media is controlling it. Well, yeah. Because if it weren't for the media,
there would be even less justice than what Trayvon Martin got already.
There wouldn't even be a trial.
There would be nothing.
There wouldn't have been anything. And I'm proud of the independent media that made this happen. Because without the independent media, it'd just be another black kid that died on the streets, and he would be seen as just, just another thug, and no one would have thought twice about it. But
this is unbelievable, and it's sad, and it's a disgrace, and I'm ashamed to say that I am a U.S. citizen, honestly. I don't know what else to say.
I'm in the camp where I see the problems with the system, and I think we need to change it. That's the only thing we can do. I think right now, people, if you're in the Florida area, or if you're planning on doing something, just calm down for a minute and think, plan, okay? Plan out what's really going to make things better. I think you change the system before you do anything else. I mean, I know it's hard right now. You've got so much anger, and I mean, I'm full of it too. I'm horribly not happy. I mean, one of my kids these days could end up looking like him, and you think I want, some gun-toting idiot just able to shoot him and that's it?
How can you change the system? The system is geared towards white people. I don't see a change. I want to leave. I want to get out of the country, and I just want to go.
We've changed it once. We can change it again.
Apparently, it hasn't changed that much.
I know.
I mean,
that's why we need to keep working.
People say that we've progressed so far, but a black woman in the same fucking state is in prison for 20 years. That's what I know. There's no changing. There
is, because I mean, where else are you going to go? Honestly,
I don't know. Canada? I don't know.
Canada's pretty racist too. It can be, in a lot of parts. It's got a lot of things that are better about it right now. But I think what we need to do is we need to get this Southern mentality, this idea of this good old Southern boy, out of this country. This whole South will rise again bullshit, and the Confederate flag nonsense. Those people are fucking traitors to this country. You want to know why the South left this country? Because they couldn't have their way. They left this country. They left this country. They don't believe in America, because when it came time to actually believe in it, they left. They said fuck America, and then they fought America. They are fucking traitors, and anyone who has a Confederate flag on their car or their shirt is a fucking traitor too. And you can take that to the grave. The people that support George Zimmerman are just as bad. You can't say that this was, an easy case. Well, there's so much stuff that we didn't know. Do you want to know why we didn't know that shit? Because George Zimmerman told so many different stories that nobody knew what actually happened.
And for those that are saying that this is not a racial case, yes, the fuck it is a racial case. Do you honestly think that George Zimmerman would have gotten out of the car and started pursuing Trayvon Martin even after the police told him not to if it was just a white kid? He wouldn't have.
Proof to that. If you're still willing to argue against that, who got a toxicology test done on them?
Trayvon Martin. Why the fuck did he have a toxicology test? He's in the grave. He was murdered. Why was he on trial? The whole thing was messed up from the get-go.
Zimmerman was not arrested on the spot. He had no toxicology, so he might have been driving around fucking drunk with his fucking gun, for all we know. But we don't know, because the cops failed.
The whole justice system has failed us. They have.
It's only a small area, though. That's the only glimmer of hope we have. And they picked all local jury, and unfortunately, I'm sorry to damn a whole city, but god damn it, Sanford, Florida, I don't want to be anywhere near you. And I have family that lives in Florida, and I hope for the best for them.
Oh, but they're white though. They're fine.
I don't want them to be anywhere near
The
those
uprising.
people. So the second they find out that my family has a family member that's black, who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, that is true.
And that, and yeah, you know, I think people are going to get stupid tonight, and I pray that they don't, you know, and I'm not religious at all, but that's the, as harsh as a way I can say it, is I pray, that's how much I hope that they don't fucking do anything. Stay in your home.
But we have to bring this to a close. It's longer than what I wanted. I just wanted to make something quick. But for those of you that are religious, just keep praying for Trayvon Martin's parents and that they find some kind of closure in this. And just, I don't even know what else to say. Just keep praying for his parents and his family members. Because they really are the ones that are suffering because they got no closure. They got no justice for their child being murdered. So, I think that's it.
Yeah. So
I'm just going to stop it.